Hello and welcome back to Real English with Real Teachers. Today, we've got an amazing lesson for you, and it's going to help you to talk about yourself more effectively in interviews. Because going to an interview is always a high pressure thing. It's always something that we dread, meaning something that we don't look forward to, even in our own language, let alone in a new language like English that we're learning as a foreign learner. So we want to make you familiar with talking about yourself and talking about your skills. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And don't go anywhere, because at the end of the lesson, it's going to be an extended, thorough lesson for you today. We're going to be testing you to see that you can express yourself well on the topics that we're going to be talking about and some of the skills that we're going to be talking about. So let's get going with the video.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Just before we dive into the interviews section, building your vocabulary and hearing how Harry and I discuss our skills that we are oh so skilled in, this video is sponsored by a language learning platform called italki, and this is a fantastic one that has thousands of really highly skilled native teachers. They also have teachers of your own country's language, so you can have a bilingual lesson if you're not ready for a monolingual lesson. But we also wanted to highlight this website because it's where we started. It's where our journey began back, I think, 4 or so years ago. I signed up there, and I remember I signed up for a very reasonable price of $10 a lesson. You could have booked me for $10 a lesson for a whole hour before. I'm a bit more now, but my point is that there are lots of teachers on there who are really fresh and raring to go, who have just been trained by the best, and you can grab them, you can get them and have these amazing classes on there for really affordable prices.
It's very true. It's very true. I remember my first student, Anna. I was the same. I started at $10. And she was really happy to get me, but she was my first student, so she didn't know if I could teach at all because I didn't have any ratings on there. And then she was like, "Oh, you're a really good teacher." I hope she meant that. Maybe she was lying. But italki is incredible. If you're someone who's really busy and you don't have much time to go to an academy or to have a teacher come to your house, italki is amazing because you don't need to leave your house. You can just use Skype to connect with a native English speaker and teacher from all over the world. So if you've got a preference for American English, you can speak with an American English teacher. Or if you like British English, you can talk with a native English teacher like me and Charlie. So it's very, very convenient. You can do it 24/7 whenever you have free time. And it's also very, very affordable. So I've seen teachers on there that are at the same price as me and Charlie were when we started, for around $10. And that's incredible for a 1-hour lesson where you get to work on whatever you want. Maybe it's exam preparation for IELTS. Maybe you want to improve your pronunciation, or maybe just your conversation skills to make you a more fluent speaker in English. Whatever your needs are, there is the right teacher for the right price for you.
That's right. So if you are interested, we've got a link in our description box below that enables you $10 discount after you've purchased your first lesson. So you can enjoy potentially another lesson for free. But before you go and do that, let's get into the lesson that you're here for now, all about interviews and the way that you can show off your skills. So without further ado, I'm going to open this battle up between Harry and I and discuss the skill of communication. Harry, hit me. Do you think you're good at communicating?
Well, given that all of my jobs have required me to be a good communicator, and my current job as a teacher requires me to communicate with people on different levels, people from all walks of life, and different professions, I would say, yeah, I'm a very good communicator. I speak with people who are prosecutors, so people who are trying to put bad people behind bars. I speak with people who are engineers who are making helicopters, and I speak with other teachers. So I'm communicating with people from all different walks of life, and I think that I do it quite effectively because, well, they're still my students.
Okay, yeah, so they've not gone anywhere, and you base that on the fact that you're a good communicator. Is that right?
I think so. I mean, obviously, with teaching, you need to not only be able to communicate, but to kind of help them to reach their goals as well. But even that, helping someone to reach their goals, it requires communication, and it requires effective communication as well. So yeah, I would say pretty strong, pretty strong communicator. Yeah.
Good, good. Okay. Well, guys, we'd like you to chime in as well. So get on the comments and tell us whether you think you are a good communicator and, of course, why. Harry, so do you think that you have always been a naturally gifted communicator, or has it taken you a while?
That's a good question. So I'm going to admit that no, I haven't always been a very good I haven't always been a good communication.
That's quite ironic, that sentence, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I haven't always been a good communicator. No. In many points of my life, I think I've suffered from kind of social anxiety. So when I was young, I was quite a shy person. Really, I was quite outgoing with my friends, but meeting new people, I didn't feel comfortable in those interactions. So no, I think over time, I've become a better communicator. Yeah, yeah. What about you, Mr. Charlie Baxter? Do you consider yourself a strong communicator?
I would have loved to meet you at the age that we were both a bit shyer. That would have been weird, I think, to be the two shy people. Because yeah, I was fairly similar. I was the shy one of the pack. And now look at me, I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you saying, yeah, you weren't that confident. Was it related? What do you think that was due to? Like your looks, the people you were
What you
surrounded?
got against my looks, eh, Harry?
No, but I don't know. But sometimes as kids, we have like lots of spots, and that
You
can
having a
affect.
go at my goggly eyes? Is that it? Is that why you think I'm a bad communicator?
No, I think your eyes help because you're kind of automatically closer to people because your eyes are essentially coming out of your skull.
Okay, so you think that the goggliness improves my communication skills? Yeah, it might do. It might do. Maybe that's what I realized when I was like 19, 20. My goggliness, I grew into my goggliness and became a good communicator. Yeah, I think after uni, I started to appreciate it. I got really into psychology and NLP, and was starting to be aware of how you've got to be very accurate with your communication. I think I've forgotten some of it, but yeah, it's still there somewhere.
I think so. I think you're a very good communicator, Charlie. I've got no qualms about that. So one of the words we said was, well, one of the phrases, walks of life. So in an interview, if you're asked to talk about your communication skills, this is quite a good word to use. And you can say, I can communicate with people from different walks of life, meaning you can talk to people from lots of different occupations and positions in society. So this is a nice expression. It just means people from different occupations. So if you work in sales, if you work in marketing, you need to be able to communicate with people who are in different industries to you. So you need to be able to understand those different industries and adapt your communication style to those industries.
Yeah, it's a good one, walks of life. And then you just said qualms, and also I said like growing into something, or coming into it. How did I say it? I grew into my ability to communicate, or something like that.
I think you grew into your goggly eyes, didn't you?
Yeah, that one. But in a more general sense, you can use it as well, can't you? To grow into something.
You can. So I'll start with qualm, then we can go on to that one. A qualm is like a doubt or an uneasy feeling about something. So I said, I have got no qualms about Charlie's ability to communicate. I've got no doubt that Charlie is a good communicator because I work with him every day. I know this. But what about you guys? Do you have any qualms about Charlie's ability to communicate, or my ability to teach, perhaps?
I hope not. I hope not. And if you do, then you can shut up. No, I'm joking, of course. I want the criticism somewhat.
Never say shut up in an interview, guys. Charlie's going to get kicked out of the interview for that.
Yeah, that's probably not the best advice, is it? Shut up, you big boss. Give me a job, you shit.
Yeah. Employ me. Give me lots of benefits.
Yeah. What's your pension scheme like? Nah, don't want to do that, do we? Okay, so that's communicating. Carly, not Charlie, but Carly has said, I am very bad communicating. So you need a at preposition. I am very bad at communicating. I am an introvert. Okay, yeah, that's a good word. Harry and I were introverts. Now we're not so much. We are, what is it, Harry?
Extroverts. Yeah. Or we are extroverted. Yeah. Meaning you're kind of confident in social situations. You have a tendency to speak lots and to interact with people easily.
That's exactly it. And then Carly went on to say, one day my teacher asked me to explain a topic to my fellow mates, and I stammered while explaining. I suppose you could be referring to one mate, but in a class, I would expect it's a lot of people. Topic to my fellow mate, and I stammered while explaining. That's a good word, actually, to stammer, to stutter. Synonyms.
Absolutely, yeah. To stammer, meaning to hesitate when you talk, like, and sometimes it can be a condition as well. It can be a kind of disorder that you have, to stammer. And I think we write it with two M's, don't we?
Yeah.
And a synonym, as Charlie said, is to stutter. To stutter. And interestingly, people who stammer, when they sing, they don't stammer. They can just sing like an angel. I mean, sometimes they don't sing well, but there was a guy who stammered on an English television program. And when he sung, or when he sang, pardon me, it was wonderful. So he would stammer like, and then he sang, and it was just like, oh, it was gorgeous. Do you remember that guy, Charlie?
Yeah, it was like music to my ears. Gareth Gates with the spiky hair. Yeah. And then I said to grow into something, and that's it. You could be meaning quite physically, like a piece of clothing. Oh, he grew into his jeans. Like a boy grew up and got bigger and he grew into them. But this, I was meaning an activity. So if you feel more comfortable towards something, you can say that. You can say, I grew into it later on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And another way you can use it, it's like when you're developing or something, you could say like, Charlie grew into a very confident person. So he was quite unconfident, shy. So was I, but we've grown into relatively confident people.
There you go. Yeah, good example.
Yeah.
Okay, let me grab one more and then we'll go on to the next
Oh,
skill.
there's one I want to say, Charlie, if you don't mind. Someone so no. So Frankie Lamb said, when speaking in front of loads of people, I feel nervous. And this takes on to another skill, public speaking, which is something they might speak about in an interview. And I've had interviews before when I actually had to do public speaking. I had to make a speech, I had to do a presentation in the interview. And that can be quite a nerve-wracking thing. Charlie, how do you feel about public speaking?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I'm fascinated by it. And I really would like to, before I retire, have conquered that area. I mean, we do this, but this is different to public speaking because we could technically just turn our cameras off, couldn't we? But in front of a crowd, it's that bit more nerve-wracking. And the close experience I've had recently was at my sister's wedding. I was the MC of the day, and I forgot my notes. No, my phone crashed on me, so I didn't have my notes. And I was very nervous, actually. People said that I did well, but I was really nervous. I was drinking lots of water, and in between each speech, I wasn't concentrating on what they were saying. I was just thinking, me, what do I do? So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that. That's interesting. So you were the MC, you were introducing the speeches and the people coming into the reception and things like that.
That's right. Yeah. I had the mic. I was blasting my voice out through Long Lodge, my parents' house.
Okay, yeah. Charlie, a lot of houses in the UK have names. If you're a posh bastard, like, and Charlie's is called Long Lodge.
I think I've got to put that on the board. A posh bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. What about you guys? What about you? Have you ever had a bad experience public speaking? How would you, if you were asked in an interview, how do you feel about public speaking? How confident are you in public speaking? What would you say? What would you say? Write it to us and we can look at your answer.
Yeah. So a posh bastard, I think it's fairly straightforward, but just to say it's a rather negative, rude word. Bastard is used as a swear word nowadays. It used to mean that you were born outside of wedlock or marriage. We don't really use it like that anymore. And then posh, meaning very, very talks like the Queen and probably has a lot of money. So a posh bastard is always collocated quite nicely, isn't it? You don't really say, did you say a poor bastard? Could say that.
Poor bastard. Yeah, you could say, oh, you poor bastard, but more in sympathy, maybe.
Yes, that's in sympathy, isn't it? Not in terms of class.
Yeah, exactly. So Aditya Dharma Kaloka, amazing name. I love that. It's so much more interesting than English names. But she said that public speaking is something that I find scary. I'd feel anxious by the idea of speaking in front of lots of people itself. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is quite nerve-wracking speaking in front of lots of people. Me and Charlie had to do it when we were at university. We had presentations to do at the end of our modules, and me and Charlie were always quite nervous for these presentations. And one of our friends, Jamie, who was one of our course mates at the time, he took the nervousness to another level. He got up particularly early one day before a presentation, and he bought himself a large 2-liter bottle of cider, And then he sat in his bedroom drinking that until the presentation.
He did. You can call it Dutch courage. Dutch courage. We mean by that to be braver, to feel less nervous from alcohol, to have Dutch courage. So Jamie had a bit of Dutch courage in him before presenting. And I was going to ask you, Harry, in university, I assume you were out of your depth when public speaking, but nowadays, do you feel out of your depth?
That's a good question. Now, no, not so much so. I think now I would kind of tackle it and I would go for it without the crippling nerves. By crippling nerves, I mean the nerves that are just too much and it takes over your body. You go pale, you can't concentrate and you can't perform. Like once I actually fainted while public speaking in an old job. And I'm pretty confident that wouldn't happen now. But they were crippling nerves that made me kind of pass out, and it was a terrible experience.
Oh my God, you passed out. Tell me way more about this.
So I didn't actually fall over, but I was asked to do a presentation by my boss, who was one of the directors, and I had to present sales figures for the financial year, or for like, we were approaching the end of the financial year, and I knew that some of the figures, some of the data was kind of tampered with. It was changed and it wasn't really accurate. We were lying, basically. And I had to present in front of the financial director, the CEO, all the important people in the company. And I was overcome with nerves and my vision went blurry while I was talking and I couldn't see anything. And then I went really sweaty. I was in cold sweats. And then I had to sit down because if I hadn't sat down, I would have just fallen over.
Oh my God. So you were overcome with nerves. You were overcome. Is it two words or one word, overcome?
Yeah, it's one word. Yeah, overcome. Yeah, I was overcome with words, meaning I was
nerves, not words.
What did I say? Words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't be overcome with words. So it's when you are you're overstimulated. You have too much of something. My tolerance was exceeded, and I was overwhelmed. And then my vision went blurry. I was overcome.
Wow. And what happened after this? Did they sack you?
No, they didn't sack me, but I always carried this kind of insecurity with me about public speaking and in the office, like how people perceived me and stuff. But in the end, I got over it. But it was hard. It was really hard at the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't remember you telling me about this.
Really?
Maybe you did tell me, but I remember you feeling shy on the phones. That was what we talked about a lot, when you had to make sales directly in front of your boss on the phone.
Yeah.
Like cold calling people that you used to hate.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. But actually, that happened twice. The fainting while speaking happened twice.
Really?
Yeah, in front of the same people.
Have you got some cushions around you today, just in case you collapse?
No, but good idea. I've got a sofa. I'll probably hit the sofa, and the board will keep me in my chair.
Okay. Well, let me know if you're feeling faint, and we can probably stop broadcasting. I'd prefer that than have an unconscious Harry.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. So should we go on to the next skill, Charlie?
Let's do it. We've got a lot of comments in, so I'm just going to read one of them. Lara, did you read this one, Harry? Lara's one? Learning how to communicate better has definitely taken me a while. No, I don't think you have. This had definitely to do with the fact that I was being bullied as a teenager. So I had grow into it. I had to grow into it. Really good example, Lara. Anything you would change there, Harry?
Yeah, so she said this had to do, right? This had to
This
do.
had definitely to do.
Okay, so here I would say it's a really nice expression, to do with something. And I would say this was definitely to do with something. This was definitely to do with something. Yeah, so it's to be to do with something. So it was to do with something.
Yeah. You could say this definitely had something to do with.
Yeah, you could say that as well. Yeah, this definitely. So it's to have something to do with
With.
something.
Yeah, it's a bit long-winded, but I would hear most natives say that option. This definitely had something to do with the fact that I was being bullied as a teenager.
Yeah. How would you define that? It had something to do with something. Quite common. It's
What
like
do you mean?
it was definitely related to that, or it can be explained by that or something. Explaining the expression to have something to do with something.
It's like a strong catalyst or strong indicator. The correlation between this
Correlation,
definitely.
yeah, relationship between two things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, lovely. What's our next skill then, Chaz?
So our next skill is the ability to work under pressure. The ability to work under pressure.
Okay, to work under pressure. How do you feel? So in this hypothetical job, Chai, let's say it's a sales job, and it's a very high pressure job. You have to meet lots of deadlines. You need to hit your targets, your targets of revenue generation. Do you think you have what it takes to meet these requirements, or do you think you would crack under pressure?
I think the latter. I think I would crack under pressure. Yeah, I don't think I do well in stressful deadline sort of environments, or having targets to hit. I would crumble under the pressure. I think I would crumble under the pressure. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think you could hit your targets? Yeah.
No. No, I think I would miss them. I would not be able to hit my targets.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced working in a target-based job where you have to make a certain number of calls a day, or sell a certain amount of things?
Oh, I did actually. I was about to say no. But I remember as a sales assistant for a retail company in England called House of Fraser, I used to work for Ralph Lauren.
Okay.
I used to wear those Ralph polos and try to convince other people to wear them with me. And at the end of the transaction, I would always have to sell them the House of Fraser credit card. So, when they say at the till, would you like to have a store credit card with us, sir? And you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I had to try and get at least 3 people to sign up every month, and I would never do it, never be able to do it. And towards the last week or the last day of sales, my manager would come to me and she'd, how many have you got? I'd be like, 0. He'd be like,
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, I've never said yes to one of those in-store credit cards. I hate those kind of things. Yeah.
I mean, it did make sense to buy it if you are interested, Harry, because you would get your money back and you would get discount as long as you remember the 56-day interest rate margin. So yeah, do go get a House of Fraser credit card at any point, and any of you guys, if you're interested, just make sure that you mention Charlie Baxter. That would be good.
Yeah, and then Charlie will definitely get his commission, right? You'll get your commission, meaning your his bonus for selling something. That's to get your commission.
Yeah, I'll get my commission. I'll hit my targets as well, for sure.
Cool, man. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard working under pressure. What about you guys, the English learners watching? Have you ever worked in a high pressure environment, and how do you respond to high pressure situations? Do you work well under pressure, or like Charlie and myself, do you crumble under pressure? Meaning you can't tolerate the pressure, you can't handle the pressure, and you fail, basically.
Did you say bail or fail?
I said fail.
Fail. You could bail, couldn't you? Or like jump ship. He bailed on me. He bailed on the job. Could you say that?
Perhaps. By bail, you mean like he left?
Yeah. To bail out, like it comes from a moving vehicle, I think. Bail out of a moving vehicle like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so we've got quite a few comments, guys. Carly has said, the chapter I couldn't complete in 3 days. I completed that chapter in 3 hours a day before my exam. This is a common thing amongst students to study fast under pressure. Okay, so Carly can handle some deadlines. Very nice to hear. Thank you.
And that's a good thing to say. If you're going for a graduate job, to use examples from your university, it's going to be really useful for you. So using these words like meeting your deadlines, working under pressure, studying fast. And we have another word, which is cramming, which is when we squeeze our work into a short period of time. So what Carly used to do was complete a whole chapter in just 3 hours by cramming. So she was focusing her work so much and so intensely that she finished it that really quickly.
Yeah, that's a good word, to cram. Did you used to cram when you were at university?
I exclusively crammed. That's the only thing I did at university.
The mature option, of course.
Yeah, I remember when we reached the end of every year when it came to the end, it was an exercise of just filling my brain with information for the exams. Sadly, I'd like to say that I applied myself more throughout the year. I was happy with how I did in the end, but to be honest with you, I crammed. And when you cram, you don't tend to remember stuff that much when you finish. So when I finished the exams, I just kind of forgot everything. But now that I'm taking an active interest in psychology again and reading about it, these things, these concepts, theories, these studies that we read about are coming back to me now. So it's nice to have that, to find it again. But yeah, I used to cram. What about you? Were you a crammer?
Not as much as you, I remember, but yeah, I definitely did fall victim to it. So Harry said to apply himself, to apply yourself. That would be good in an interview. I'm very versatile. I can apply myself to many different things. And if you obviously, in the context, you would say the specific thing that you're talking about. But I want to make sure that this vocab that we're teaching them can be used in the actual interview. So Dutch courage, definitely not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, apply yourself. So to apply oneself is a really good one. It just means you try very hard and you concentrate on what you're doing. So you could say in an interview, I always apply myself to any task I am given. I always apply myself to any project that I'm working on. So that's a really nice little word with a dependent preposition to apply yourself to something.
Yeah. Okay, should we go on to the next skill?
Let's do it, baby.
So the next skill is time management. Time management.
Oof.
Are you
Okay.
are you a punctual man, Harry?
I'm a punctual man, but I think that's maybe a cultural thing. So I will always make sure I turn up on time to things or before before the appropriate time. So with punctuality, yes, I am punctual. But when it comes to deadlines, I don't think I'm fantastic, and that's because I have the tendency to cram. So yeah, don't think I'm fantastic at managing deadlines. But actually nowadays, now that I'm doing something I really like, I think when we have a date, like if we say we're definitely going to put up videos on Sundays, you know, normally it will go up on a Sunday, but sometimes it doesn't. So who knows?
Hoping to be a work in progress, right?
Exactly. It's a work in progress. Yeah. What about you? Are you good at meeting deadlines?
I think it depends on my interest to it. I think Stacey says that I don't give I was about to say a rather rude phrase then. I don't give two shits. I don't give two shits to anything that doesn't interest me regarding time management. I find it difficult to make that an agreed deadline that we stick to. But if I'm interested in it, yeah, I would try my hardest to stick to it.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen a lot of people are using the word procrastinate and procrastinator as well. So one person has said, "I'm really much of a procrastinator." So I would just say I procrastinate a lot. I have the tendency to procrastinate, or I'm a hell of a procrastinator. Yeah, and I think I have the tendency to do that. And but obviously, when you're in a job interview and they say, do you procrastinate? Are you good with deadlines? Don't say you procrastinate. Obviously not. Say you apply yourself to your work and you knuckle down. That's another expression. To knuckle down, meaning to really focus on what you've got in that moment. Make sure you're not distracted. So it's to knuckle down. These are your knuckles, and that's down, to knuckle down.
I like that expression. Yeah, to knuckle down is really good, especially when you've got a deadline coming. You could say to your boss, I'm going to knuckle down this weekend and get it over to you before Monday morning. So you focus entirely on it. But yeah, so are you saying that you're a good person at you knuckle down quite well? Or you knuckle down when push comes to shove, you knuckle down?
Yeah, when push comes to shove and something's got to be done, like with our courses, for example, we do have deadlines and we have to make sure that we meet those deadlines so that we pay the property in time, so that everyone has the information they need in time, so that people pay us at the right time. And yeah, I definitely knuckle down when like you said, when push comes to shove. And that's a nice expression, Charlie, when push comes to shove. How would you define that one?
When a deadline is leering, or when the pressure is on. When the pressure is on, yeah. And I wanted to say about crunch time. So crunch time, what would you say? Is that a synonym?
Crunch time. Yeah, when it's like the right moment to do something.
The right moment, but also like the most important pressing moment, isn't it? When it
Yeah,
comes to crunch time, are you able to perform? Will you perform for me on when it's crunch time?
yeah. So when it's the important moment when a decision has to be made. So you can say it's crunch time. We have to make a decision now. We need to choose our suppliers right now. It's crunch time. So what are we going to do? Yeah.
And you could say that you're good at thinking on your feet. That would be quite a good one. When you're under pressure, you don't crumble under pressure. You're good at thinking on your feet.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So you're very responsive. Another way to say that is you are on the ball. You are alert and you're ready to respond in the appropriate way when you are called upon, when there's a difficult moment at work or when a decision has to be made, when you have to respond to your manager's question, you're on the ball.
That's right. Yeah.
Quick on your feet. Yeah. And I guess these both come from sports. I think to be on the ball is maybe from baseball. Like you are maybe the batter, you're on the ball and you've got to be aware of when the ball is coming so that you can hit the ball. And quick on your feet, maybe like a boxer is quick on their feet so they can move out of the way of the punches at the right time, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Even if they're not the correct answers, it's a good way to remember it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Harry Giles giving false definitions and origins of words since 2012.
2012. Oh, why that year?
More recent that actually. Yeah, 2012 is when we graduated. I wasn't a teacher then.
No, I don't think you were giving out false etymologies either until 2018. I would just, keep it at this year. Yeah. All right, everybody. So do tell us, using the rather extensive vocab that we're creating for you, whether you are good at time management, whether you're good at working under pressure, and if you're a good communicator. It'd be good to see some comments, including as many of these phrases as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be really nice to see you using these. Carly said, Harry, can you please shift towards the right a bit so you can see the board? Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Carly. Appreciate
Or you could shift your board to the left.
That's a good idea. Yeah, but then they won't see this one. This one is a particularly long one, isn't it?
I can still see it. Something. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the next one, Harry, should we do the next one?
Absolutely. So the next one we have here is decision. Self-motivation. Should we go with self-motivation? Let's go with something different. Let's go with teamwork. Teamwork, yeah. Are you good at working in a team, Charlie? Are you a strong team worker?
I was actually having a lesson with someone today, and we were joking about the generic things that you can say about your skills. And we were saying about being a team player. I think everyone probably says that in a British English interview, but it is a good one that you might want to say. I'm a team player. I'm good with, I've got good people skills. That would be another one, wouldn't it? People skills. You might need to explain that one. People skills.
Well, this would go with your communication skills and your ability to communicate with people and to treat people well, I guess. So it kind of means you're likable and that you treat other people well and with respect and they like working with you. I guess that's what you mean by people skills, right?
Yeah. And it goes well with team player because you've got to be a good communicator within the team. So to be a team player, yeah, I definitely do my bit and I make sure that everyone feels equal within the team because I'm a team player.
Yeah, nice. I like that as well. You do your bit. You do your bit, meaning you make your contribution. You contribute equally to the group. So when you're talking about being a team player, you can say that. I always do my bit. I always do my bit. And it's funny, you're right. It's one of these generic things that people say. I'm a team player. And normally they say it right after they say they're good at working on their own. And they're
I'm really good at working on my own. Having said that, I'm a fantastic team player.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they ask you, you have, because in this job you've got to be familiar with working in groups, and you've got to cooperate and collaborate, but also you can have lots of time working on your own, and you can say exactly what Charlie just said.
Yeah, I love working on my own. I love being able to control everything myself and being totally independent. But I love people. I've got great people skills, and I'm a team player.
Yeah.
You could say, "Don't get me wrong." That's a very British phrase, isn't it? Don't get me wrong. I'm a team player when it comes down to it.
Yes. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So it's like, don't misunderstand me. I know I've just said that I'm a really independent person, but don't get me wrong, I love working in a team. We often say it, we often start it in that way, with something which has contrast to the next thing we're going to say. So you'd say, don't get me wrong, I love England. I'm just not mad on the weather. I just don't love the weather here.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad on something. Again, great phrase, Harry. Very, very native. I'm not mad on something. I'm not mad on it.
Yeah, if you're not mad on something, this means basically you don't like something. I'm
Yeah,
not.
I don't like. I don't like. I'm not mad on um, pop music. I'm not mad on pop music. I don't like it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got a comment from Andrea. Hello, Andrea. It says, she has said, I usually apply myself in everything I have to deal with because I love hitting my targets and sorting my problems out. Nice. Really, really nice. Yeah. Apply myself in everything I do. Yeah. I wouldn't really correct anything. I like the way you've written that.
I've got an interesting comment from Luca. He's used the phrase "don't get me wrong." So he said, "Don't get me wrong, but I'm still waiting for your feedback about the story of the wolf thing." Now, that's a brilliant comment. We're going to answer everything, but it's actually not quite the right context to use that phrase, is it?
Yeah, so I could maybe change that sentence and tell you how you could use that, Luca. So I would say, don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying this lesson, but I'm still waiting for the recording and for the feedback on the wolf story thing.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
So
nicely.
say something positive and then say something negative.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good technique to advise. And Luca, we are still going to be doing those feedbacks. We're working out the best way to give the mass audience an interesting video regarding those, but we will be giving some feedback in a video very soon. So do stick around.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're watching and you have sent, I can see many names here like Reza and Luca that have sent us their audios, and we have listened to them as well. So thank you very much for sending them in. It was amazing to get such a big response to that video. And yeah, thanks so much. It was lovely to hear you reading those things out. And I was really impressed by your pronunciation as well. So we're going to try and put a video out this week related to that. If not, definitely next week.
Yeah. Okay. What skill were we on, Harry? Were we on
We were talking about
teamwork? Teamwork.
Teamwork. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done that though. Okay. Well, hang on. What about you? Are you a good team player?
I think I'm a good team player. I definitely have my weaknesses. sometimes I find it hard, or definitely in the past, I found it hard to admit when I didn't know how to do something. I found it hard to ask for help and things like that, and to accept and admit that I didn't know how to do something. So I used to just suffer in silence. But nowadays, not so much. And I think in our work, Charlie, and what we do, we have to work well as a team. And when we're not working well as a team, things don't go as well. So I think thanks to you, actually, I work better as a team player.
Okay, nice answer. So you don't need to suffer in silence anymore because we are good team members, or we work well as a team.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. So Alessio has said, get team working and communication skills is crucial if you want to hit your targets and collaborate with people from different walks of life.
Brilliant.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So instead of saying get team working, I would say having team working and communication skills is crucial. So when we start a sentence with a verb, usually we'd use the gerund, unless we're like having an imperative, like give me my phone, or have a nice day, you know. So we would say having team working and communication skills is crucial. But really nice example. Nice to see you using that expression, walks of life. It's a really good one.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one. Okay, so let's do one or two more skills, and then give you a home task, guys, to leave in the actual comments, not the live chat. And then we'll have to leave it there, I think. But we hope that you've enjoyed this conversation around vocabulary in the interview process. And yeah, I've enjoyed it as well, Harry. Have you?
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah. For some reason, your voice just got significantly louder and more resonant. I don't know why. But Carly could take us on to our next topic. She said, I'm more of a leader. I'm good at assigning appropriate work to appropriate person. I'm also good at completing my work on time. Really nice, Carly. I would say I'm good at delegating work, or you can say assigning work to an appropriate person. So with the article, I'm also good at meeting my deadlines. Yeah, perfect. Chaz, would you say you're a strong leader?
Got to be, really, haven't I? When I'm working with you, got to be a very strong leader. Yeah, got to whip you into shape. Got to tell you when. Got to say no. Got to say my bit.
Yeah. Okay. I think someone has to lead. It helps to have someone who is a leader, and I'll try not to take offense to that. Sometimes on the course, we kind of in different ways. One of us will take the leadership role and take charge of something, of different activities, don't we? We kind of split it between us in some ways.
Yeah, to split it between us, that's nice. To take charge, to split the responsibilities between us. So again, in an interview, are you a good team player? Yeah, I like to split the responsibilities equally among the team members. Or you could say, I'm a good leader. I take charge. I take charge when I need to.
Yeah, you could actually say another idiom as well. You said you need to whip me to whip me into shape, Charlie.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Wow. Imagine Indiana Jones with a whip and hitting Harry on the bottom, and that morphs him, transforms him into what I want him to be. So I'm hitting him to make him behave in the way that I want him to whip someone into shape.
Yeah, and just in case anyone is worried and they're thinking about calling the Samaritans or any other charities to help me. It's not actually the case. He doesn't literally whip me. Doesn't literally. But yeah, by this expression, it means exactly. You are changing the way that someone is to be in a better condition in the way that you want them to be. So a leader, a good leader, maybe they will whip their employees into shape. I have whipped my team into shape, and now they're really good at selling over the phone, for example. I have whipped them into shape, and now they're really good at selling over the phone.
Yeah, good example. Good example, because people ask for examples of when you've been outstanding in previous work, don't they? So when was a time that you showed great leadership in some previous roles that you've had? And then you could say, well, there was a time when my team was suffering, and instead of following suit and being as underperforming as they are, I decided to whip my team into shape, and we hit our targets with flying colors, you could say, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. You are talking in idioms today, Charlie. I love it. This is real English, my friend. This is real English. And flying colors, meaning with a very high level of performance.
Yeah.
How did you use it? How did you use it in your example? Sorry, Charlie.
We hit our targets with flying colors.
Yeah, I just heard a weird sound. I don't know if that was some kind of page that I opened on my computer. But yeah, we hit our targets with flying colors. So you did really, yeah.
Is that your page again? Okay, guys, let's read some of your comments and then set you a task. Okay, Reza, what's Reza been saying? While being job interviewed, let me share my screen.
Cool. I love it. I love it when he shares his screen.
Do you? Do you love it?
It's quite amazing.
Okay, Reza. While being job interviewed, some job participants or interviewees might stammer when speaking in front of the interviewers because they stutter. Tendency to falter or pause frequently while speaking. Wow. Okay. Really good, Reza. Well done. At the beginning, while being in, or I would say while in a job interview. While in a job interview.
I think what he means is that while being interviewed. Which is similar, but I think he wants to go for a passive.
Yeah, while being interviewed, some participants, we don't really need the job part anymore. Some participants or interviewees, very nice.
Candidates.
Another one, yeah. Candidates. I say candidates. Do you say dates or duts?
Candidates. I say candidates.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can say either. You can say either.
Yeah. Okay. So then you go on to say might stammer when speaking in front of the interviewers because they stutter. Now, stutter is kind of like a synonym to stammer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you don't need to use both of them here. Yeah, they might stammer when speaking in front of the interviewers because they are nervous, I would say, because they're nervous.
Yeah.
Or because they're hesitating.
Okay, so well done, Reza. Thank you very much for your entry. Do you want to choose another one, Harry?
I'm not going to go for Reza again. Carly, Alessio, Andrea, and Reza have been super duper today. Thanks so much for all your participation. So let's go with Haser Kilic. I like working with group. I'm willing to get change. And also, I love studying something which is new for me. I love start from scratch. Lovely.
That was charge.
Oh?
I heard change, but it was charge.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, charge. Pardon me. Okay. I like working in a group. So I would say I like working in a group. I'm willing to To get charge. Oh, to be in charge. I'm willing to take the lead, you could say. So if you're saying you are willing to be the leader, you could say, I'm willing to take charge, or I'm willing to take the lead.
Yeah, nice.
And also, I love studying something which is new for me. I love starting from scratch. I love starting from scratch. So we use the gerund after love. But lovely, lovely example. Lovely example.
You can use the infinitive as well, can't you? To start from scratch. So I
You
love
can.
to start or starting.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. Good.
Great. Thank you very much, Hasir.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for your participation today. For people who aren't watching live, or if you're here live and you want to write us a comment, then please do. And give us a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this lesson and if you want to see more job interview preparation with us, because we like doing it and we think it's a really, really useful topic that will help you with your English.
Okay, I'm just highlighting 3 words for you guys to use. Actually, I'm going to go for 4. So in the comments section, not the live chat, the comments below, create an answer using these 4 phrases about job interviews and skills that you might possess that would attract your boss to hire you, or a potential boss. So well done today. We look forward to reading them and coming back with some more English lessons for you guys.
Exactly. So thank you very much for all of that. And remember to get your italki lesson. If you want to practice with a native English teacher like us, then you can actually book a lesson with us, because we're on italki and thousands of other teachers who are all very affordable and highly skilled. Just click the link below this video and claim your $10 of italki credits after your first lesson. So enjoy that and leave us a comment and tell us how your first lesson was. Thank you very much for joining us. Anything else we need to say, Charlie?
I think just bye for now.